Let's get to some more top stories. Adam, what more can you tell us about players being added or removed from the PUP list? Let's start in Miami.
Yeah, they're leaving Odell Beckham Jr. on the physically unable to perform list, still recovering from an off-season procedure that he had, and he will be ineligible to play the first 4 games of the season. Miami knew this was a possibility. It's what they expected. They have other receivers to buy time until he come back, and he now will miss the first 4 games of the season, as will the Los Angeles Rams tight end Tyler Higbee. He suffered that big knee injury at the end of last year. He's going to open the season on the PUP list, tore the ACL, tore his MCL in the playoff loss. So just a devastating injury at that point in time. Still recovering from it. The Rams still are hoping to get him back this season. And the Minnesota Vikings are hoping to get back their tight end, TJ Hockenson, in week 5, as early as week 5. But he's not going to be able to play the first 4 weeks after he tore his ACL and MCL on Christmas Eve last year against the Lions. So still a very strong recovery from Hockenson. He's been spotted at training camp running around looking good, but he's not there enough to where the team wants to keep him on the roster. He now will be ineligible to play the first 4 games this season, Laura.
Yeah, it makes sense. Boog was telling us he's got to get that calloused football shape as well. So we'll see if he can do that by week 5. By the way, last year was Hawkinson's first full season with the Vikings. He thrived. He was top 2 among tight ends in receptions, receiving yards per game, 20-yard catches, and first downs. Does Hockenson staying on the PUP hurt the offense with quarterback Sam Darnold now under center?
Absolutely. The biggest question mark for the Minnesota Vikings offense is Sam Darnold and his ability to kind of make up for what they're losing in Kirk Cousins heading to Atlanta. Now, how do you do that? You do that with the weapons they have, and they are a deep team. We know that Addison has some injury things going on, but they added Jones. Obviously, you get Jefferson back on the outside, but Hockenson is essentially your number 2 wide receiver. Like, what he was able to provide for that pass game should not be understated. Like, those numbers aren't flukes. If you ever watch him play, he is one of the best young tight ends in the NFL. So not having him out there puts even more pressure on Sam Darnold without the weapons that, he came into the season hoping to have early on.
Yeah, Hawk, I would agree with you. It puts more pressure on Sam Darnold. But here's what I would say. Because of the play caller and the head coach and Kevin O'Connell, because of Jordan Addison, because of Justin Jefferson, I think you can figure out a way to spread those touches that Hockenson was going to get, spread those around. Let's not forget, Aaron Jones comes over from Green Bay. They're going to split him out some. You're going to see 2 backs in the backfield, a little pony personnel. I think Coach O'Connell is going to figure out a way to make up for the touches that TJ Hockenson will get and spread them around. And I think Sam Darnold, although a tight end is usually a quarterback's best friend, I think Sam Darnold is going to be just fine with all the weapons that he has there in Minnesota.
Yeah, the Vikings averaged a half yard more per play with Hockenson on the field last season. Boog, you may be right, though. Just spread it out to somebody else. That offense can get really creative. Let's go to Miami. They still have some questions around wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr.
Off the field, I've been able to hang out with him a good amount of times. Cool dude, 100%. But does that translate does our relationship translate on the field? Like, I couldn't tell you because I haven't gotten reps with him, and that's just the honest truth. Now, if O isn't on the PUP list, he clears everything and we're able to get out there. I mean, that's one of the first things that I, want to do. Routes on air, want to make sure I get as many reps with him.
There's not a scenario where he's going to, just jump out there with a cape on without practicing at all.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel. Hawk, with OBJ now out the first 4 weeks, how does this affect the Miami offense?
I think they'll still be fine. I think anything they're getting from OBJ is going to be icing on the cake from what you saw a year ago with this wide receiving core. You got Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill. To Tua's point, they have incredible chemistry. At best, for OBJ, he is going to be kind of a third down wide receiver that can move the chains. Like, he's going to be an X on the outside, create some flare control, see a lot of one-on-one, be a sure-handed veteran, very similar to we had Miles Austin in Cleveland in 2014 when Mike McDaniel was the receiver coach.